Good morning. We opened this sacred space this morning by singing hymn number 298 in the great hymnal, Wake Now My Senses, Rise in Body or Spirit. Whoa, I didn't do that.
Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving, as love shows us how. Wake now my senses, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Offer the linen and praise the sublime. Bring down from passion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now my conscience, justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged slave. God's love embraces the whole human race. Make now my vision of ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance here. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Work toward a planet transformed by our care.
Welcome to our Here at the Fellowship and to all those who are watching on YouTube. My name is Jackie, and I'm going to be your worship associate for this service. This service is being broadcast live on YouTube and will be available as a recording on the UUFCC YouTube channel after the service. We will use first names and last initials only. This is a good time to turn off your phones, and I'll try to remember to turn them back on. I don't do mine, but I'll try to do yours. For those of you joining us virtually, you may wish to have a chalice or candle available for our chalice lighting ritual. Each week we gather together by singing, even as we are in different places and whether our sacred space be virtual or live. You are welcome here at UUFC no matter who you are, no matter who you love, no matter where you come from, no matter your background or spiritual journey. We know you come here for different reasons, to find community, to seek your spiritual and personal truth, to ask questions, to nurture and be nurtured, to explore new ideas. We come from different places, different religions, different beliefs, and different backgrounds. We trust you will find something that you need here: comfort, connection, challenge, and love. And we hope you will find ways to help others. There are so many people that I would like to thank today. The first one is our guest speaker, Reverend Chrystal, and I'm glad she's here. Our tech team, Corey, Tom, and Doug. Our choir director, Margaret, she is fantastic. Behind the scenes, grounds, office, cleaners, and the beautiful greeters, and Trudy, who seems to be always in the kitchen. And also those who provide our goodies after the service. If you are new here, please stand or wave as you are comfortable and share your name and where you come from. Doug will be coming around with the microphone so that we are all able to hear you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Susan Markham, and I'm from Ontario, Canada.
Well, welcome. I'm Janice Gorel. I'm a snowbird from the same town as Sue in Ontario, and I live in Punta Gorda in the wintertime.
Welcome.
And you tell them who you are, that you belong to the church.
Oh, I forgot this little piece of information. I belong to a UU church in Olinda, which is a small church built in 1881 in the country. It's a country church in Essex County in Ontario.
Wow, thank you.
Hi, my name is Gary. I came to visit you folks. Back in January, I was deathly ill, and some folks from this church came and prayed with me, and I was home in 3 days, so I wanted to come and see if maybe I could find them.
Thank you so much for coming. Anyone else? Any returning snowbirds? Okay. If you are new here, if you would like to learn more about our fellowship, ask one of the people you met this morning, or visit our website or email us at uufcc.office@gmail.com. Now we'd like to enjoy the prelude, Fairies Dance By Margaret. There's a saying that love remains the center, and this is by Eric Hepburn, and this is about lighting the chalice. We light this flame to remind us love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love remains. And now as Jamie lights the chalice, I'd like you to repeat the words that are in the order of service. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is his law. This is our aspiration, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. And now the next song, our music director is going to explain to us.
Mic on. Okay. For me, St. Patrick's Day is about so much more than St. Patrick, leprechauns, or green beer. It's a tribute to the people, my people, the country of Ireland, and the suffering they endured for generations. The Irish potato famine, also called the Great Hunger, was a period of widespread starvation and disease in Ireland between 1845 and 1852, caused by a devastating potato blight that destroyed the potato crop, which was the primary food for most Irish people. Roughly 1 million people died from starvation and related diseases during that time, while another million were forced to leave Ireland. Britain had taken over Ireland starting in the 12th century. Henry VIII was made King of Ireland in 1542, and the Irish Parliament was abolished in 1801. Because of British rule, Irish farmers didn't own the land they farmed and had to pay taxes on it. Despite the devastating potato blight and the resulting famine, large quantities of other products, including oats, bacon, eggs, butter, lard, pork, beef, and fresh salmon, continued to be exported from Ireland to Britain as taxes on the land. That explains why they didn't just eat something else. Most of Ireland gained independence from the United Kingdom after the Anglo-Irish War. The Republic of Ireland became an independent nation in 1931. My family, the Lawler and Flaherty families, remained in Ireland until the 1940s when they emigrated to New York. So we are going to be singing hymn number 157, Step by Step. It's based on an Irish tune about the potato famine, which is called the praties. They grow small. Praties are potatoes. The words are, and you don't have to sing this, the choir is going to sing this first, and then we're going to go ahead and sing the step-by-step song. Oh, the praties, they grow small over here, over here. Oh, the praties, they grow small over here. And we dig them in the fall, and we eat them coats and all. Oh, the praties, they grow small over here, over here. The words of the hymn, Step by Step, are from the Constitution of the United Mine Workers of America. In the 1960s, Pete Seeger put the Irish tune, the praties, they grow small, and the mine workers' words together to form a protest march song. The choir will sing the praties, they grow small, and then we will all sing together hymn number 157, Step by Step.
Small over here, over here. Oh, the praties they grow small over here, over here. And we eat them out and all, and we eat them out and all. Oh, the praties they grow small over here, over here. Step by step, the longest march can be won, can be won. Many stones can form an arch, singly none, singly none. And by union what we will can be accomplished still. Drops of water turn a mill, singly none, singly none. Step by step, the longest march
The opening words this morning are A Circle of Healing by Starhawk. We are all longing to go home to some place we've never been, a place half remembered and half envisioned. We can only catch glimpses of it from time to time. It's called community. Somewhere there are people to whom we can speak with passion without having the words catch in our throats. Somewhere a circle of hands will open to receive us. Eyes will lighten up as we enter. Excuse me. Excuse me. Voices will celebrate with us whenever we come into our own power. Excuse me. Yes, I don't know where my water's at. Anyhow, community means strength that joins our strength to do the work that needs to be done. Arms to hold us when we falter. Thank you. A circle of healing, a circle of friends, someplace where we can be free. We have a long tradition at UUFCC of sharing our joys, sorrows, and life milestones by entering them into the Book of Life, which is at the back of the sanctuary. Say, Trudy, can you bring that up for me, please? Is there any? Oh, thank you. Okay. We also embrace the tradition of dropping stones in the bowl. The water symbolizes the community, and the stones represent your joys or sorrows. There are no entries to read in the Book of Life, so I invite you to come forward and drop a stone either silently or briefly aloud.
Hello, I'm putting in a stone. I'm Florence, and the reason is because 2 hours ago I got a great granddaughter was born in California.
Hi, I'm Kay Azar, and it is always a blessing to come back and be embraced by all my friends here. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone who came to the auction this weekend. It was absolute success, and I'd like to say hold in our hearts the people who could not make it. Several people were sick and weren't able to make it, and we hold them close. I also like to say some words about our sweet doggies. Jackie and I have 2 little doggies, 20 pounds apiece, and they're both nearing the end of their joy here with us. And so we're going through that last time, and it's very difficult. So I'd ask for your thoughts for them and joy for them and the rest of their days here.
I'm Margaret. My joy is that back 35 years ago, I was going through a time in my life where I was trying to have a baby, and I had 12 miscarriages. And it was just devastating. I was teaching school at the time, and I saw all those little kids, and I couldn't have one. And my cat had kittens, and I was jealous of my cat. So, but we just celebrated my son's 29th birthday.
I guess once again, my name's Sue from Ontario, Canada, Olinda. We do the same thing. We have joys and concerns, and often people don't say a lot, but we know that there's a joy or concern in their heart, and I'd like to acknowledge that, the silent joys and concerns. But also, you just mentioned your auction. We have an auction that we do in April, similarly, for the church. And I just hope that we have a successful auction, because like most churches, ours is becoming very small, and it seems to be the same people bidding on everything. But they do that generously. I'm making a tiramisu, and last year the tiramisu went for like $70, so that's a joy. It's a real joy. A concern is I have a daughter who struggles with addiction in Ontario, and I always try to remember her. I've been away from it and haven't had to deal with it, so it's still there, and I hope she's doing well.
Hi, I'm Ken, and my message this morning has to do with resurrection. No, you're not in the wrong place. I know many of you were fans of the Port Charlotte Symphony before it collapsed, and they are now really trying to resurrect that as the Southwest Florida Philharmonic, and they are having a concert at 3:30 this afternoon in a church down on Barton Store Road, if you can make it.
I think
I always do this wrong. Oh, well. And I am going to the Florida Symphony today and the Presbyterian Church to support this because there's been funding issues. I also am leaving soon to see my family, which is really great, on my way to Asia for 3 weeks. So I will be gone for a while, but I'm glad I got to go to the big shindig last night. And it was fun, and I'll miss people. Thanks.
This last stone represents the unspoken joys and sorrows in our hearts. May we hold these and each other in love and tenderness, so that this fellowship may be a source of strength and comfort, courage and hope in the days and weeks to come.
Just when the weight of the world we inhabit threatens to drop us in place and press our hope down into the ground beneath us, love invites us to rest for a gentle while, sets us once again on its tender and demanding path. We know that all will be well. It was somewhere back in the late 60s to early 70s that I wanted the latest gadget for Christmas. It was called the Tootaloop radio. Don't see anybody jumping up and saying, "Oh, I got one too." It was a novelty radio that was made by Panasonic of Japan. This radio was designed to wrap around the wrist. It even came with stickers for customizing the unit. Reception was the AM broadcast band only. No FM. Oh boy, does this age me. The radio was shaped like a donut with a hole offset in the center. When twisted, the two halves would pivot and separate, forming an S shape. One side of the radio had a grill behind which sat the speaker. There was also a jack for mono earplug. The tuner was located inside one of the splits, so the radio had to be twisted into that S position in order to be tuned. But the volume control was on the outer diameter, and the radio could be adjusted regardless of whether the radio was twisted open or closed. The Tootaloop came in several colors. It was available in white, red, blue, and yellow. I didn't care which color I got. I just wanted one of these radios. It was cool, and the TV commercials captured my interest. I wanted to wear it around my wrist. I wanted to wear it around my ankle and dance with it. But much to my displeasure, that Christmas day, my father told me that Santa could not, in good conscience, bring one for me. You see, we lived at minimum 10 miles outside of any town that was big enough for a radio station. My favorite station was WEEO. We knew it all as WEO. My father must have done his research because, as Santa told him, without an antenna, the radio could not pick up any, let alone my preferred WEO station. I was disappointed that Santa wouldn't bring one for me, and it was only a few years later I could come to realize that I would have been even more disappointed if the radio didn't work. We all encounter disappointments in life. That's what comes with life, isn't it? Now, if you would indulge me in a short interactive moment, I'm going to ask a question, and I want some responses by raising of hands, but wait until we get to that place. When you were young, upon what source did you depend for your local weather forecast? Did you rely upon newspaper, radio, or television? And so with a show of hands, who read the newspaper? Very good. And who listened to the radio? Aha. And then, who among you watched television news for the local weather forecast? All right. We all did one, both, or all three of these: reading, listening, or watching for our important weather information. Now, how has that changed when we consider our modern times? How many still read the newspaper, even if it's online? You got it. How many listen to a local radio station? And then, what options do you use if you view the television? Local station? Weather channel? Or perhaps some other streaming channel or app? You got it. Now I ask, what makes you choose your source? Did you find that there is one source that is more accurate or more concise? Is there a source to which you can return and count on updated information? Notice how I'm just sticking to the weather, only asking about the weather right now. It is something we often call upon to help us plan a day or a week of activities. It is something we all find useful. Now the question for today: do you trust the weather forecast? Sometimes, maybe, especially when they say, well, there is only a 40% chance of rain somewhere. Maybe in this area. Is the source of your weather information accurate and trustworthy? And what makes it that way? As you think about that, I wonder if anybody has a piece of U.S. currency sticking in a pocket. You might want to draw it out. On all of our currency, there is a phrase, "In God we trust." When was that motto first used? Well, it's suggested that perhaps the earliest usage of the term "in God we trust" was in January of 1748 by the Pennsylvania Gazette. In terms of this usage as our official motto for the United States, that occurred in 1956, when the motto "In God we trust" replaced the previous "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many, one. President Dwight Eisenhower signed the law in July of 1955 that "In God we trust" be added to all of our currency. And so we find every time we handle a little bit of money, there must be some form of trust along with that. And I'm focusing on that word today, trust. What do we trust and why? Warren Buffett once said, "Trust is like the air we breathe. When it's present, nobody notices. When it's absent, everybody notices." Tom Barnaby, the detective in Midsummer Murders, says this about trust: "It's hard to win, easy to lose, and should never be taken lightly." The dictionary states that trust is the firm belief in the reliability of truth or strength of a person or thing. It is confident expectation. To have or place trust in, and trust, hope earnestly. And the antonym is doubt. But let us start with trust. Trust has three essential core elements: authenticity, expertise, and reliability. Authenticity is the ability to build mutually beneficial relationships. It requires a balance of task and people, and it is a blending of empathy and concern that is expressed as real. Expertise is being knowledgeable and well-informed. It requires a balance of sharing one's own thoughts and acknowledging others' contributions. Expertise also is knowing when you don't know, and either looking for or deferring to others for the information. Reliability is doing what you say you will do consistently. Trust in this description is a three-legged stool. If any of these components falls apart, the stool of trust cannot stand. Will we ever trust again? We have lost so much trust. But let's think about the ways to trust and start with trusting within. Let's look at each of these components as we consider the foundations of building trust within each of us. Are you authentic? Ralph Waldo Emerson says that self-trust is the first secret to success. Golda Meir says, trust yourself. Create the kind of self that you will be happy to live with all your life. Make the most of yourself by fanning the tiny inner sparks of possibility into flames of achievement. I think that this is the beginning of creating the authentic self. Knowing thyself and creating thyself, the self you can be happy to live with every day and always. If trust is to be built, trusting oneself is a good place to begin. Sandra Fees writes, love of self is a fundamental religious value. Love of self is a fundamental Unitarian Universalist value. The first and seventh UU principles together tell this story. The first principle affirms and promotes human worth and dignity, the worth and dignity of every person. Each and every person, including yourself, matters. Other people matter, but so do you. Not more than anyone else, but as well as equal to anyone else. The seventh principle affirms and promotes respect for the interdependent web of life. Each person is a part of the web of existence. Each and every person, including yourself, belongs. While it is true that none of us is more important than anyone else or any other part of our independent web, each of us does belong, and each of us is a unique piece. The second leg of our stool is expertise. Like love of self, knowledge of self builds upon trust. Self-knowledge brings an appreciation for and recognition of strengths, weaknesses, and biases. There's tremendous power in that knowledge. People who understand their own capabilities set realistic and achievable goals. People who don't have this insight tend to set unrealistically high or unnecessarily low expectations. Goals too high result in feelings of failure and inadequacy, whereas goals too low offer no challenge to grow. The third leg of our stool is reliability. Those who know themselves can make promises they can keep, and they resist the urge to overpromise what they cannot deliver. This is the foundation of the stool, doing what you say you will consistently, and especially doing what you say to yourself that you will do consistently. A point to remember is that trust can be fragile. Trust can fray and unravel. Any of the legs of our three-legged stool can break down. And then that stool becomes pretty useless. Rather than being about getting it right every time, what if trusting oneself has to do with the ability to bounce back, to be resilient, to overcome a slip-up or a failure? just stop to think for a moment. None of us is going to get it right every single time. No one. To trust oneself has to be based in something more than that perfect track record. To trust oneself has to do with coming to believe that we will find a way to be okay, even when we get it wrong. Despite the uncertainties, it also has to do with having the courage to learn, to grow, and to build trust again. After we have come to trust ourselves, we can look to trust others. These same legs are the foundation for developing trust in others. And when that trust fails, we need to remember that trust is amazingly resilient. Trust can be rebuilt, renewed, and restored. Our three-legged stool will serve its purpose. In what do you trust? First, perhaps, do you trust yourselves? If you have accomplished this, then the next level, who or what holds your trust? In order to build a relationship, there needs to be a modicum of trust. There are some things in which we may never be able to build a trusting relationship, but since each of us has to start somewhere, start with who you can trust. Think about why you trust that other, and look for those attributes in others that form that relationship of trust. And please remember, use extreme caution when you try to stand on a trust relationship that has less than 3 legs. I don't think it will hold you up for very long. Work to have that strong 3-legged stool of authenticity, expertise, and reliability. Blessed be.
Thank you. In our tradition, congregations exist because of the generous support of members and friends. It is our privilege and our responsibility to ensure the health and future of this fellowship. There are several ways you can give. You can drop your donation in the baskets that are being passed around. You can mail checks to the office, drop them in our mailbox, or call the office to make other arrangements. We also use the Venmo app. Payments through this app should be made to UUFCC offering. If you are with us for the first time, do not feel obligated to give. Your presence is our gift. Your generosity is going to always be appreciated. And now we have, during the offering, we have Irish Blessing, Margaret.
You're singing, right?
Thank you so much for the offering. And now we have the life of the community. Now's the time to highlight UUFCC's events and activities. Feel free to check our website and weekly updates for events and activities. I have a few. Okay, let's see if I can read your handwriting. Please take a closer look at Art Exhibit number 6. Art Exhibit 6? Talented artists from the second studio at Punta Gorda Visual Arts Center. You be the judge for our second People's Choice Award. $1 put in the vase. Vote as often as you like. Proceeds will benefit the artist. Find the ballots on the back table. And please come to the reception to meet the artist this Friday, March 21st at 4 p.m. Refreshments will be served. It's Birthday Cake Sunday. Thanks to Sue B. for donating our cake today. Happy birthday to all March birthdays. Trudy, Debbie, Trish, Ken, and Myrna. If you would like to have your birthday recognized, call the office. And if you would like to sign up to bring a cake, see Trudy in the kitchen. Thank you. Okay, now. The reason that almost 60 of us were able to enjoy the 2025 Mardi Gras auction was because Shelley volunteered to organize it. It is no small feat, as there were many moving parts, multiple meetings, and plenty of stress. We are grateful to Shelley. Speaking of gratitude, we also appreciate all of you who helped set up, take down, worked in the kitchen, greeted, and took in donations of items and money. And a special thanks to you who donated and bid on the silent auction and live auction. They were a huge success. This fellowship has every reason to be proud with this level of participation, and I agree. It was fantastic. Woo! We did it. Okay. The closing words this morning are in the gray hymnal number 602, If There Is to Be Peace, by Lao Tse. And I would ask you to read the italicized words. If there is to be peace in the world, if there is to be peace in the nations, if there is to be peace in the cities, if there is to be peace between neighbors, and if there is to be peace at home, okay. I invite Jamie now to extinguish the chalice. Please check in reciting the words in the order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of hope, the fire of commitment, or the warmth of community. May these ideals shine in our hearts and one with heart, until we are together again. And now in peace. Okay, we're going to have the hymn 413 in your gray hymnal, Go Now in Peace. And the choir is going to do something special. Woo! I got to find my thing. Oh, where'd it go? I lost my bell.
We'll get there.